Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Maxwell in concert. The Serenade Tour. October 16th at FedEx Forum. Maxwell. With special guest Jasmine Sullivan. And October London. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Maxwell Live.
Justin Timberlake. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now. For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
Gigi Jackson, I don't know if you know this, CJ, youngest player in the NBA, does not turn 20 until December of this year. He was the 45th pick in last year's draft. He becomes the first teenager, I believe, to be named to an all-rookie team without having been a first-round pick. Shout out Gigi Jackson.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right. I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough Studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope I have permission to talk about women's basketball a little bit more this morning. You think I got permission?
Not from me.
It's a sensitive topic.
I'm not on the authority to give you permission.
You
bro.
gotta be careful.
You do what you gotta do.
You gotta be careful talking about women's basketball these days. They'll come for you, boy.
Yep.
Came for Stephen A. Coming for Pat McAfee. Never know who's gonna be next. We'll talk WNBA. All things Caitlin Clark. We'll do it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let's set today's schedule for you. Chris Vernon is the host of the Chris Vernon Show. That's weekdays, noon, Grind City Media. He joins me on Tuesdays in the second segment. He's going to be with me here in about 20 minutes. I'll ask him if he's got anything to say about Caitlin Clark of the WNBA.
Okay.
But first, I'll make sure he has permission to talk about it.
Good.
You know, we'll check the boxes in the proper order. Chris Vernon will be here in about 20. Finish talking to Vernon. I'll take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, CBS Sports column Ward Henniger has a new mock draft posted, cbssports.com. I'll tell you who he has the Grizzlies taken with the 9th pick. We'll do that in about 40 minutes. College baseball's super regionals are set. Tennessee gets Evansville. Kentucky gets Oregon State. LSU, the reigning national champion, they're done. They're done. I'll tell you all about the SEC teams that are still alive. We'll do that a little later on in the show. A 74-year-old woman in Nebraska, of all places, was pronounced dead at a nursing home. I imagine that happens almost every day. Here's the problem. 2 hours later, she was found breathing at a funeral home.
Uh-oh.
Woo! What a wild situation. Can you imagine? I mean, I've woken up in some wild places before and been like, oh, buddy, how'd I get here?
Yep.
But I ain't never woke up like in a funeral home. I bet that's a weird one. I bet that's strange. I'll tell you all about that possibly criminal situation.
Could be.
Could be. We'll do that in the third segment. Rough video. Clemson coach Dabo has surfaced. This guy,
I saw this.
Hey, I'm going to laugh about it because it's funny.
Yeah.
But I understand.
I get it,
Man, but I could see myself ending up in that situation.
Yep.
He seemingly he's in a video with a recruit, and he's trying to address the recruit by name, and he just seems to blank on his name. Can't remember his name. It's tough. It's a tough deal, but we'll show it to you anyway. We're going to do that a little later on in the show. And Pepsi, breaking news this morning. Pepsi is no longer the number 2 soda in the United States.
Oh, wow.
I guess you know what number 1 is.
It's probably Coke.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola. Pepsi has, forever been number 2. You remember the great Coke-Pepsi wars of the 80s?
I do.
You remember the great Coke-Pepsi wars?
I like an ice-cold Pepsi.
You're not a Pepsi guy, are you?
No, I like both, actually.
You like both?
I'm not one of those
You could go either way.
Yeah, I could go either way. Like, you give me
You're
one.
bicola.
Yes,
You
I'm
identify as bicola.
Absolutely.
You identify as
Yes,
bicola.
Yes. I try not to drink too much soda in general,
Yeah,
but,
I
like,
understand.
they're all little treats to me.
They're all little treats
Yeah,
to you.
yeah.
Pepsi is no longer the number 2 soda in the United States. It has been replaced.
Okay.
It's been overtaken. I'll tell you by whom during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carryout and call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with the WNBA
All right.
because, believe it or not, I don't know how we got here, but I guess I do. But the WNBA, it continues to be at the center of the sports conversation. It's the biggest topic in sports. It just is.
I like it.
Largely because of, if not entirely because of, the attention the league is getting since the arrival of the NCAA's all-time leading scorer, former Iowa star, Caitlin Clark. These days, buddy, everybody's got something to say about Caitlin Clark and everything surrounding Caitlin Clark, including the Chicago Tribune's editorial board. Did you see this editorial yesterday?
No.
They have an editorial.
I don't think so.
Oh, buddy, they didn't just let their sports columnists handle this.
Oh, no.
The Chicago Tribune decided to bring in the entire editorial board.
Uh-oh.
They're going to sit down. They got something to say about what happened over the weekend between Chicago and Indiana when, Caitlin Clark got cheap-shotted, right?
Okay.
The shot heard round the world.
Yes, that's what they're calling it.
Here's the tweet the Chicago Tribune used to provide a link to its editorial. It read this way.
Okay.
The foul committed by Chicago Sky guard Kennedy Carter on Caitlin Clark was egregious. Outside of a sporting contest, it would have been seen as an assault.
Uh-oh. Not assault.
Bennett, I don't know if you even knew it while you were watching it, but this weekend you witnessed an assault. I don't know if you knew it. I don't know if you recognized it. But if I would have asked you yesterday, I'd have said, hey, what'd you do this weekend? If you didn't start the list with, I witnessed an assault, you didn't know what you was talking about. You witnessed an assault. You didn't even know it.
Bro, I watched Draymond Green try to put Rudy Gobert to sleep like just a few months ago. Like, what are we talking about?
Well, listen, it was egregious. It was unnecessary. It was a cheap shot. It was not a basketball play. It was not physical basketball. It was exactly as we described it yesterday.
Yeah.
It also wasn't assault. Like, I thought Kennedy Carter's hip check, that was eventually upgraded to a flagrant foul on Caitlin Clark. I thought it was unnecessary, cheap. Worthy, like we discussed yesterday, of one of Caitlin Clark's teammates retaliated. Like, that should not have gone off the way it went off. Somebody should have been in Kennedy Carter's face. Like I said yesterday, you can't, if you're Indiana, you can't keep letting people hit Caitlin Clark unnecessarily. But no, we don't need an assault charge.
I don't think so.
From a basketball game.
It's a little extreme.
It's a little extreme.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what the editorial board at the Chicago Tribune is made up of, but it suggests it's multiple people. And I don't know why, if you got multiple people in the room, there isn't at least one person in there that would say, guys, this ain't going to work the way we think it's going to work. You know, it is going to, I know what it must sound like in your head, but this ain't going to work the way you think it's going to work. And, maybe we shouldn't do this the way we're planning to do it. I don't understand how you can't get one person with that. I understand how one columnist sometimes will have a very poor opinion. I've been there myself. But when you got a group of people, somebody should stand up and say, we really want to do this, because you're going to lose people when you try to take arguments to the extreme. Like, as a professional arguer, like when you try to take it to the extremes, you're going to lose people along the way. And the Chicago Tribune took it too far, to the extreme, with that editorial that was published. ESPN, by the way, also wild yesterday.
Dude, that network went crazy.
WNBA has broken ESPN.
It did,
They now hate each other.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible across the board. Monica McNutt, she came for Stephen A. Smith's throat.
I saw that.
That was a rough spot. Stephen A. Smith, the biggest star in sports media. You got this incredibly successful television show. You're bringing all these people on it, and then suddenly they turn their swords on you. That's a tough feeling.
Yeah.
Like imagine if I brought Drew Hill in here, and he's just sitting right here with me, and next thing I know, Drew Hill's coming from my throat.
Right.
That's a tough situation. Let's watch this together. Look here, let me set it up for you. Stephen A. Smith, they're talking all things Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, WNBA. You know the drill at this point. So they're talking and they're debating and they're discussing. And then at some point, Stephen A. Smith is like, maybe this isn't exactly the right way to put it, but he's kind of patting himself on the back a little bit for like bringing the WNBA conversation to the forefront of sports. He's basically saying, hey, ain't nobody talking about the WNBA as much as we talking about the WNBA here on First Take. Pat. Mm-hmm. And Monica McNutt said, not so fast, buddy. Here's the way she countered that.
That's all I'm at.
All right.
Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talks about women's sports more than First Take? Stephen A. Respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to. Wow.
All right, we gotta go. You got it.
You're my guy, but who does more than
Stephen,
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Wow. Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have. Okay. I'm talking to you. Okay.
All right, let's.
You my guy, but I'm talking to you.
Guys, I really appreciate.
You my girl, but you missed a lot of episodes of First Take. You missed a lot. Stephen A. 3 years ago, you were not talking about the W at this level. Don't do that.
Guys.
You making Stephen A. point, Monica. You making Stephen A. point.
Please let me do my job. We've gone for 40 minutes.
The best part of it is Molly Karam's face. Because for about 10 seconds there, she's like, like, ooh, buddy.
No,
it's an amazing clip.
Yeah, because no one gets him like that. Like no one. There are rarely any gotcha moments with Stephen A. He's pretty quick to come back, and he was stumped.
Well, the problem, that's a difficult thing to come back from.
Right.
Because Monica is right, although I can defend Stephen A. In some ways here. But, like, what she is saying is right. Like, hey, whenever you wanted to start, you're Stephen A. Smith. Whenever you wanted to start talking about the WNBA, you could have done it.
Yeah. You create the conversation. We're talking about y'all right now.
Like, like when you hear Tim Legler, I don't know if you saw him on a podcast a couple weeks ago, sometime within the past couple of weeks, when the Pacers were doing okay. And he was on a podcast and he was like, I can't tell you how many times in meetings I've said, like, hey, we should maybe focus on the Pacers a little bit more. Maybe we should spend some, hey, is there space in the B block for a Pacers conversation? Because, like, I'm watching this, and this might be coming together.
They're really good, yeah.
And he was like, they're like, yeah, well, we're going to talk about LeBron, you know, and maybe Bronny too. It's just like, I understand the situation Tim Legler's in because Tim Legler is not Stephen A. Smith. So there are producers, more powerful people who are like, we know what works, we know what doesn't. That's awesome that you know a lot about the Pacers. You should go on a Pacers podcast and talk about that. This is going to be First Take, Get Up, Sports Center, and we're going to play the hits. And that means Steph Curry, that means Kevin Durant, that means Giannis, that means, you know, Boston Celtics, LA Lakers, that kind of stuff. So Tim Legler isn't capable of shaping the conversation on that network. He is a lot like me. I'm not comparing myself to Tim Legler. We're very different. But, I mean, I walk into a production meeting at CBS Sports, and I don't tell people what to do. I'm in control of this. But when you see me on TV, I'm not really in control of that. I'm answering questions that are asked to me, and I'm not the person who often thinks of them. So that's Tim Legler's role there. Stephen A. Smith is so powerful and so big that he could talk about whatever he wanted to talk about. And so Monica is accurate when she says that. And you mentioned like he was stumped. I think he was stumped, surprised, but also to my initial point, it's a hard thing to respond to because she's right in what she's saying. And this isn't Shannon Sharp who said it or Max Kellerman who said it. In other words, like the dynamics here matter. What are you going to do? You pop back at a woman on national television? Like that's going to get delicate and it's uncomfortable, and that's a dynamic there that plays a role. So he didn't really know how to handle that situation, in part because I don't think he was expecting it, and secondly because it was a woman saying it to him, and I think that dynamic does change things a little bit. Now, I'll defend Stephen A. here, though.
Okay.
You're hearing a lot of this, like, hey, where have you guys been? From people who have followed the WNBA more closely than the rest of us over the years, right? But then this moment happens, and this thing it's become a real thing.
For sure.
It's not manufactured. It's not some like, well, let's pretend we care about this. People do care about this, and people are passionate about this, and it's registering in a way it has never registered before.
I don't think that's even a question.
Not even a question.
Yep.
You ready for this? Here's proof of this. Nobody asked me to lead this show on the WNBA today. I genuinely believe it's the most compelling thing out there right now. We'll have the NBA Finals starting in a couple of days. We'll get back to that. But right now in this window, this is the most compelling thing in sports. It just is.
Yeah.
Some of us need things like this to expose us to things we otherwise wouldn't be interested in for whatever reason. Some of it is just a bandwidth thing. Like, I'm confident if I followed college baseball, I would really enjoy it because I love baseball. And Ole Miss has a program that's won a national championship in recent years. Mississippi State has a program that's won a championship in recent years. Tennessee obviously operates at the tip-top of the sport consistently. I'm in the middle of the best, and I love baseball. I bet you I would love it. You ready for this? I don't know nothing about it because I don't have the bandwidth to watch it, right? It starts in the middle of college basketball season, in the middle of the NBA. Then actual Major League Baseball starts. I'm interested in that. I'm traveling nonstop with my kids.
Games are on during the middle of the day.
Yeah, it's just,
stuff.
Okay, so it doesn't mean that I don't care about college baseball or wouldn't enjoy college baseball or college baseball stinks. It just means that, you know, I watch what I watch, I consume what I consume, and there's only so much like time in the day and space up here. Some of us need things. There's certain sports you're going to follow no matter what. The NFL being the biggest. Certain things I'm going to follow no matter what. College basketball, it's my primary job. The NBA, I have to. Plus, I enjoy it. Major League Baseball, that's been my favorite sport since I was a child, right? And then there are other things that we are going to be exposed to in moments, and that's what brings us in. And for let's say, just say UFC, I don't follow the UFC. I don't know anything about it. I don't know who any champion is right now. I don't know nothing. I don't know who won Saturday night. No, I saw a fight in the stands, and I know Donald Trump was there.
Yep.
I don't know much more than that, all right? But I watch every Conor McGregor fight. You know, I watch all his press conferences.
Yep.
When he's on the card, I purchase those.
He's fighting in a few weeks.
Okay, so I don't know anything about UFC, but the Conor McGregor thing brought me in. Before that, it was the Rampage thing brought me in. All right? Sometimes we need – there are a lot of people who never watch boxing, don't follow boxing, but they would buy every Floyd Mayweather fight. You know?
That's true, yes.
Okay? Hey, I don't follow boxing, but hey, Floyd Mayweather's fighting, that's a big deal. We're going to watch that. We're going to buy that. We're going to have a party for that. You need this thing to bring you in. I don't care about the rest of it, but this thing made me care about this thing. You know what another one was more recently? Lionel Messi, MLS. You know how many people started watching MLS games, attending MLS games, subscribing to the MLS package? That MLS has been here for a long time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You need this thing to come in to make us all like look at it.
I was even going to say like Premier League is one of them where like nobody really, but now because of the game and, and all that.
There are certain sports where it's a niche sport for whatever reason. But there is always an opportunity for something to happen that brings the masses in. And I don't think it's productive to then try to shame the masses, or in this case, Stephen A. Smith, for not caring about this as passionately previously. I just think it's counterproductive to what you've been saying for decades is your goal, which is, hey, we've got an amazing thing here. We really wish more people would care about it, pay attention to it. Well, now you got the whole world paying attention to it. And there are people who seem bothered that people like me are talking about this, right? Like I've seen a lot of it. Like, you know, maybe the people who haven't followed this sport so closely need to sit this one out. Or maybe if you don't follow the WNBA on a day-to-day, if you can't tell me, you know, what the Aces record is right now, maybe you should sit out the Caitlin Clark cheap shot conversation. Well, like, why? I don't understand why. Like, that's a very easy thing to see what happened and to discuss it. You don't have to have a vast knowledge of the history of women's basketball to discuss what we watched happen this weekend. So
it's very much like Soccer Guy.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
a lot like Soccer
when
Guy.
we all try to get excited about the World Cup.
It's like, okay, you don't know who any of them are.
You don't even. Oh, you don't even know.
Right.
You can't even spell Mbappe. All right. Well, now you're making me feel like I'm not wanted here, and you know, maybe I'll go away. Like, that's the thing. It's weird. We spent 20 years of people begging people to pay attention to the WNBA, and now everybody's paying attention to WNBA, and people are like, "Yeah, you shut up about the WNBA." It's just sort of a weird dynamic. And then you get Pat McAfee. Oh, buddy.
Well, that was a little different.
Yeah. He obviously went too far.
Yeah, man.
Somebody should get him a prompter.
I think
because I bet that wasn't in the prompter.
I don't think that was in the prompter, and I like McAfee.
Maybe get him in the prompter and say, just stay in your prompter, because he got a little riled up and you know, then he can't do what they. I know what he was.
I know what he was trying to do.
I know what he was trying to do. I think I know what he was trying to do, which is like describe her from the perspective of the people who seem jealous of her, who seem to be hating on her. He was trying to, I think, illustrate like this is the way they think of her, and this is the way these are the terms they use. But buddy, coming out of your mouth, that ain't gonna work. So he issued an apology. And for people who didn't see it, I'm not going to play the video for you, but he called her a white bee. Just not going to work.
I
know what you were going for, buddy, but
you can't pull that off.
You're not going to be able to, even you, you're not going to be able to pull that one off. So that was that. He apologized. I'm sure he'll be back on TV today. And then lastly, Angel Reese spoke with the media, and you know what? I won't even frame it for you. Just tell you that she was talking about this moment in women's basketball, the WNBA being the biggest topic of conversation in sports. And she was just discussing that, and here is in part what she said.
It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that, because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me, too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Your thoughts?
Oh, I agree with everything she said. And the thing about that clip, too, is she actually goes on a little bit longer. She doesn't end it with, it's because of me, too. She also...
In fairness to her, yes, she did say us later.
Yes, she did. So I think it's fair to point that out.
Sure.
Because just that clip alone, it looks like she's saying, well, it's me, too. Look at me. And that's not what she was trying to do there, I don't think. But I agree with everything she said, because while Caitlin Clark is the centerpiece of kind of what's happening and everybody that wasn't before paying attention to women's basketball, I agree. It's not just her. Like, it is like that national championship game did huge numbers, and that was a big deal, that rivalry between LSU and Caitlin Clark and Iowa. And, you've got other stars that have come. I mean, Cameron Brink's a huge star out in L.A. now. Like, you've got this. It was a perfect storm of players coming into this league that were big-time college stars. Like, and again, Caitlin Clark's the centerpiece of it, but there's more to it than that, I feel like. Plus, on top of that, you've got the Vegas Aces that have kind of newer franchise that people have latched onto because they have a lot of like really great players and big personalities. And so I think it is kind of this perfect storm of a lot of things centered around this big figure, Caitlin Clark. That's how I feel about it.
If you wanted to call this a movie, all the other stuff you just said, they are supporting actors. They're not co-stars. Angel Reese is not a co-star in Caitlin Clark's story. She's a supporting actor. She's a part of the story, but she's not a co-star. And for all the people who spent yesterday talking about these people aren't jealous of Caitlin Clark, you don't know what you're talking about. Play that clip again, and I don't mean Kyra actually play it again, but like go watch it on your own time. That is the definition of jealousy. When you say I deserve credit for this too, it's not just one person.
Yeah, I get it.
I deserve credit for this too. We deserve credit. You want to throw the we in? We deserve credit for this too. It's not just one person. That's jealousy.
I agree with that.
So stop it with all the, nobody's jealous of Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese just showed you on television.
Oh, I think there's jealousy.
Of
yes,
course
I
there's
agree
jealousy.
with that. I agree
That's
with
why
that.
it's nonsense when people say there's not. Oh, nobody's jealous of Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Yes, Angel Reese just told you in her own words that she is. Angel Reese is a part of this. There is no question. That moment in that title game 2 years ago, that resonated, that built something. And that is, when we do a documentary on all of this, that'll be a part of it. But she's just a part of it. She's not an equal in it. And for her to present herself that way just shows a little bit of she's not seeing this whole thing properly. I mean, I'll just give you some numbers. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Indiana Fever home games this season, you know what they're averaging? 16,571.
Yep.
You know what the Chicago Sky in a bigger market are averaging for home games this season? That's Angel Reese's team.
8,000?
Half of it.
Well, I mean, that.
She's not a co-star in this story.
Okay, but that is Chicago, where they have literally everything.
Indiana doesn't have everything?
But that's a basketball state. That's a basketball state.
You ready? Okay, let me ask you this. Caitlin Clark plays for the Chicago Sky, and Angel Reese plays for the Indiana Fever. What do you think happens?
Oh, I don't think it'd be 16,000. I bet the number would be bigger than what it is in Chicago. I just think that Chicago, everybody's attention's everywhere. In Indiana, everybody loves basketball.
I mean, I guess I can't prove it to you. But,
I know.
But Caitlin Clark is literally drawing roughly double.
Yeah.
To her games what Angel Reese is drawing to hers.
No, I can't argue with that.
And that clip is like, I'm an Angel Reese fan, but that is jealousy. When you say this is not just about, when you make a point in a camera to say all of this is not just about one person, that is you being jealous of all the attention one person is getting. It just is. It just is. So, like, stop it with the nobody's jealous of Caitlin Clark. They are. She is. That's obvious.
Yeah, she has been vilified in this whole thing. Like, I agree with that point that she made. Like, she has been the villain in this whole thing and gotten the hate, right?
I don't doubt that it's been hard for her at times. There's no question.
And she's acknowledged it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, social media is harsh.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not speaking to that. I'm speaking strictly to the nobody's jealous of Caitlin Clark. Yes, they are. I think they are too. I just watched a woman tell us that she, is unappreciative of all the attention that one person is getting because this isn't about just one person. That's what she said, right?
Right.
That's jealousy.
Right.
That's what that is. If that happened in your office building, whatever office building you work in, and you felt like the office was doing well, unprecedented levels of success, but you felt like one person was getting all of the credit for it or lots of the credit for it. If you spoke up and said, hey, I just don't think that this one person deserves all the credit for this, I'm a part of this too, well, then you know what people in your office would say? God, that person sounds jealous. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Chris Vernon will be here next. I'll see if he's got any strong opinions on women's basketball. But first, I'll make sure he's got permission to share them. We'll do that in a minute.
If you look at it, as far as the the number 9 pick over the years. There's been some pretty good players that have surfaced at number 9. Of course, Dirk Nowitzki, who won a championship. There's been a lot of great guys, but who knows if there is a great guy in this draft.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz Beat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The Grizz girls are no ordinary dance team. They're known across the NBA for setting the standard for world-class dance and entertainment. From hip-hop to jazz, the Grizz girls do it all. And they're looking for talented dancers with dynamic personalities to join the team. Do you have what it takes to join a premier NBA dance team and entertain Grizz Nation both on the court and in the community? Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information and show us what you've got at open auditions Saturday, July 13th.
Now for a limited time, the new $1.99 crispy tender wraps are here at Sonic. Who could deny a crispy chicken tender with bold flavors like hickory barbecue and cheesy Baja? And we can't forget the crisp lettuce and melty cheese to make the perfect bite. Wrap yourself up with some TLC, tender, love, and chicken for only $1.99. Sonic $1.99 crispy tender wraps. Tax not included, limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
36.5 vertical?
Watch your head.
Yeah, you said it was 44.
Well, you sure I said that?
36 and a half.
36.5 is big.
36 and a half. I've got bench press here.
18 times.
17.
Okay.
You always have to put a little barbecue
It's all barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce on the wings.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. We have another edition. This will be the third edition of the Debate Club. You guys are going to sell a shoe to Mr. Bennett Doyle, our producer over here.
Oh, yeah.
I saw these.
I've seen these.
I saw these on social media too.
It's the perfect house shoe.
I know, right?
Like, yeah, it's not even a house shoe. I bet you they're really comfortable. You know, you heard of unisex. This is unifoot. Oh my God.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough Studio, and on Tuesdays in the second segment, I'm joined by Chris Vernon, host of the Chris Vernon Show, weekdays, noon, Grind City Media.
Here I am.
I want to talk to you about the NBA Finals. They start in a couple of days, but 48 hours out of that, the biggest story in sports is the WNBA. I think we all knew that something was happening with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese coming to this league, but I don't know that I anticipated it being such a loud conversation and the biggest conversation in sports literally the week of the NBA Finals. Are you surprised by any of this?
I mean, it's during the summer.
Right.
We're looking for something to latch onto, and
Sure.
typically you can latch onto it. And it has part of the reason, in fact, the majority of the reason that it has gotten so much conversation is almost like a media controversy.
Oh, yeah, now it is.
That's what it is.
Media members
It's
are
not
fighting.
really-
Co-workers are arguing.
I don't think people know more about the WNBA than they did. I don't. Do you?
I mean, I don't. I like right now.
It's a thing that people are arguing about.
Right.
But it's not because they're all watching the games. We're
Oh,
seeing
no,
the
I don't even-
clip and then arguing about, this, Resent and Caitlin Clark coming in there. And I was listening to you.
We're
when
not
you're
talking
coming
about
in.
how the aces look or like how the West is shaping up or anything like. It's none of that.
None of it.
Right.
And the other thing is, I mean, Stephen A. Smith, obviously that was the huge clip yesterday. He's the biggest broadcaster in the country.
Sure.
He is. And so anybody that stuns him and he has that moment on TV, which is super embarrassing for him, and obviously he responded to last night in a wild way about how he's put everybody on, right?
It if I would have been his buddy, I would have said, "Don't do this." But it must be weird for him because I know this is what he thinks. I'm not even saying this is right. I'm just telling you this is what he thinks. I bring all these people on the show, I could bring none of them on the show. I'm in charge of this, and now they're killing me.
What he should have said was, yes, I could have talked more about the WNBA 3 years ago, but nobody cared.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm in the business of talking about what people care about. And all of this, if you talk about it, people will care, is bullcrap.
Right.
You could have started your show talking about Robert McIntyre winning the Canadian Open with his father on the bag.
Right.
Doesn't mean people are going to care.
Right.
They cared when Tiger came in. And guess what? They resented the hell out of Tiger, too.
Right.
There's that old clip of Curtis Strange.
Oh, you'll
saying,
learn.
oh, you'll learn.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, they all resented him because we were all watching because of Tiger, right? They all resented Serena because we were all watching because of Serena. She was the new cool thing. You brought out college baseball. It's funny. This weekend I was playing golf with one of my buddies, and he was keeping up with the Tennessee college baseball game, right? I guess they're the number 1 seed. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Right? They're like the number 1 overall seed, and they were having the regional. And he was like, do you ever talk about college baseball? I was like, no, nobody cares about that. But if there was a guy hitting 65 home runs, I'd be watching every game.
That's right.
Like you were saying, something's got to bring you to the table.
Right.
And there is a tremendous amount of resent of the people that got brought to the table. But I feel like now, because the media's turned these into arguments every day about Caitlin Clark and whether these people should just be happy they've got private jets now and all this. Like, I mean, it's kind of crazy. But it's like, I don't think that necessarily, and now people are going to be arguing about Angel Reese and whatever.
Right.
It's like, I guess all conversation is good conversation, but in the way that I just brought up those other things, like I was watching tennis because of Serena, and I was watching golf because of Tiger Woods. Like, that's real things that happened. People started watching baseball during the summer of '98.
That's right.
Because of McGuire and Sosa, because something incredible was taking place. And so it brought them to the table, but it's weird. It's like Caitlin Clark, who might be the least controversial sports figure I can fathom.
It must be wild for her. This whole thing must be wild for her.
It's all just controversy, and it's people arguing about like how it's covered and about how we talk about it and about her treatment and about how you don't know what's going on with this and the gatekeeping that goes on with it. And it's just, I don't know. It speaks to how ridiculously famous she is.
Right.
And you're like, I know he said, like, I don't disagree. I heard you say, I don't disagree with anything Angel Reese said. Bro, I promise you this. Angel Reese she has an appearance over at Briarcrest High School today at 6 o'clock. There'll be a couple people show up. If you said Caitlin Clark's going to be at Briarcrest at 6 o'clock tonight, you wouldn't be able to drive down Walnut Grove.
Okay, I think you're underselling Angel Reese a little bit
For
there.
sure.
She is super famous.
Come on.
She is super famous.
As hell, she got invited to the Met Gala.
Bro, look at the attendance at her games.
Yeah, no, it's half of Caitlin
It's
Clark.
in Chicago, though. That's what I was saying to him.
What are you talking about? I went to a game in Chicago.
Dude,
There's
they
people in
have
Chicago.
everything.
Atlanta Teledown played in Chicago.
But Chicago has everything, dude. Like, that's
what are you talking about?
Indiana is a basketball state. Like, they
Hold
care
on.
about
Yeah,
it.
No, the road games, bro.
Dude, like, okay.
What do
here,
you mean?
Here, let me
She's selling out all the road games.
let me split the difference here, because I'll go right in the middle of you. Angel Reese is more famous than you think. She is super famous. Instagram followers, the whole deal. She's a famous person. All right, there'd be more than a couple.
Maybe I'm not giving her the credit.
There'd be more than a couple people at Briarcrest. That said,
Not a couple.
I know
You
what you mean.
know what I'm
I know what you mean. That said, she is not Caitlin Clark, and she is not a co-star in this thing the way she seems to think she is. Magic and Larry were co-stars.
Mm-hmm.
Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are not co-stars. She's a character in the story, but she's a supporting actor in the story.
Yeah.
And she doesn't seem to think that at all.
Caitlin's she took again, this happens in sports.
Right.
We see one person that just transcends the sport and brings people to the sport.
Right.
Happens all the time. Now, many times it's an individual sport, but we talked about it with the McGuire Sosa thing. I mean, people stopped watching baseball, stopped caring about baseball until that was going on.
Right.
And then they came back.
Right.
And they started checking it out because of something special that was taking place. And she was something special that took place. There's been a lot of Angel Reeses.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There have.
Oh, sure.
she's a great player.
I don't.
Great player.
Yeah.
Right? She's a great player. But, like, what Clark did was literally historic.
Sure.
No one has ever done it.
Right.
No one has ever scored like that.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
In any basketball has never scored like that. She had more points than freaking Pete Maravich.
Right.
The record's been around since I was.
And it's not just that she scores all the points; it's how she scores them, where they come from.
Yeah.
She was incredibly successful. It's like I wish there was a way to say this that it doesn't sound like it's a shot at Angel Reese. She's amazing. She's super famous. She is an important part of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But she seems to, at least in that clip I showed you, present herself as something.
And she's more famous than I gave her credit for.
Right.
She's on magazine covers and whatever
Yes.
else. And certainly, I think that. I'll tell you this. I don't think my mom or my wife would
Right.
know who Angel Reese is.
Right.
She didn't transcend like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they don't care.
Right.
They don't care.
Right.
They don't watch it.
Right.
But they would certainly there ain't anybody that doesn't know who Kayla Clark is now.
Right. It's just the way I put
It's
it.
impossible to be.
The way I put it yesterday was because I think it's silly when people try to act like nobody's jealous of Caitlin Clark. That's just asinine.
I'd be jealous.
Okay.
I actually defended the resentful ones,
What-
but just stop acting like you're not.
Oh, that's my thing. I understand why you're jealous.
Yeah.
Just stop acting like you're not. The way the comp I came up with is imagine if Reed Shepherd went to Kentucky, homegrown. I'm trying to make him just like Caitlin Clark. Homegrown product, becomes a star, spends 4 years at Kentucky, just like Caitlin Clark spent 4 years at Iowa. And he becomes the all-time leading scorer, takes Kentucky to back-to-back championship games, is bombing from everywhere. He becomes this undeniable phenomenon. Then the draft happens. He's the number one pick in the draft by a bad team, all right? And then imagine, like, let's fast forward to present day. That happened right now. Reed Shepherd just completed his 4th year at Kentucky, and he's the number one pick right now. And you turn on ESPN every day if you're Joel Embiid or Nikola Jokic or Steph Curry or LeBron James, and everything is about Reed Shepherd. And they're not talking about you at all. It's just everything is about Reed Shepherd. They don't care. You would at some point you'd be like, why are you talking about this guy all the time? I'm the reigning MVP. I just won a championship.
I just told you. I get it.
I understand the jealousy.
And then everybody's out there telling you should just be grateful.
Yes.
You
should just be grateful Reed Shepherd's here.
I got it. I mean, I understand.
I understand it too.
And one of the things we talked about yesterday when we talked our way through it was it did not happen. It does not happen in the NBA now in the same way, right? Like I watched and was there for Ja Morant's rookie year and watched all of these massive superstars come by and talk to Ja Morant, put their arm around his shoulder, you're next up, give these amazing quotes after the game, whatever. And honestly, the reason for that is because those guys have $500 million in shoes.
Right.
And their games were on national TV,
Right.
not his. But if Ja came in
Yes.
and he had a shoe and none of them had shoes,
Right.
and he had $500 million and they had $1 million,
Right.
they probably ain't putting their arm around their shoulders
Of course
and being like, hey, you're up next. You're going to be the standard bearer when, the league's in good hands, blah, blah, blah.
And just
Instead, they'd be
contrast-
like, yeah, this guy.
Yeah, I mean, contrast that
He
to
didn't
what
even
we're
do
watching
anything.
now. You got people just jumping on social media like, what does she even bring to the game anyway besides
Right.
three-point shooting?
Yeah.
Nobody would ever say that about Ja Morant his rookie year.
No,
Right.
and that's because they're made whole.
Right.
They've
Right.
got their money.
They're secure.
They've got their shoes.
Right.
They got whatever, right? And that's what's happened here.
Right.
It's like all of a sudden, like she's rich and she's famous and she's the one that the WNBA is promoting and she's the one they've put on national TV literally every night. I mean, I get it.
That's my thing.
But again, it's very like the golfer thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Because golf was nobody cared.
Right. It was like,
And Tiger came, and it's like all of a sudden, and this will eventually happen, and everybody will give her credit for the
Right.
same way they did. Look, they're all rich now because of him.
right.
They're all the purses went up because of him. All these events and everything became what it became because of him
Right.
and what he brought to the table. But when you're talking about, mid 90s, like go back, I have these. It's crazy. A Christmas ago, maybe, I'm a big card collector. And so one of the gifts I asked for, I said, I want a box of the whatever. I think it's 96 Upper Deck. It came out with golf cards,
Okay.
right? It's got the Tiger rookie in it,
Right.
okay? This Tiger rookie golf card, and so I wanted those so that I could open up a box and see if I got a rookie,
Right.
which I did.
Oh, wow.
Okay, but bro, you go through the rest of the box and the rest of that pack,
Right.
and you're like, what the hell?
Right.
There ain't nothing.
Uh-uh.
Nothing.
Who are these
The
people?
whole box.
Right.
There's nothing you want.
Right.
Except one dude.
Right.
That's it. And it just, and it was like very eye-opening to me to open that box and then to see this is what golf was. This is what golf was, right? And this is who he was, in the mix with at that time. Now, other guys came along and they were famous as well, Mickelson, et cetera. But there was like a real, like where he brought all those people and all that money to the table, and they resented the hell out of him.
And if you would have told them right from the jump, the same thing you're telling WNBA players, like, hey, you should just kind of be grateful that he's here, because you're all going to make a lot more money now.
F him.
Because they're like, because there's somebody over there, some no-name golfer is like, I'm leading this tournament,
Right.
and everybody's over there talking to him.
That's right.
And that I like I said,
It's
and
Scooter McGavin.
like I,
You remember how mad he was? The whole gallery was watching Happy Gilmore.
Right. I understand why everybody is jealous.
Of course.
I can't stand when they act like they're not.
I know.
That's the only thing. And I don't even understand other people like saying, well, I can understand Angel Reese saying I'm not jealous, because maybe that's what you say when you're a jealous person. You just say I'm not. I don't understand other people like saying nobody's jealous of Caitlin Clark. Like it's crystal clear.
But it's something that's going on that's drawn us all to it. Right?
Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know?
Oh yeah.
Like if there was a guy in like AEW that like his finishing move was chopping people's heads off, we'd all be watching.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'd watch that.
Right.
That dude, MJF, he brought me to the table for a while.
Oh, I don't watch AEW.
But he was the hottest thing going.
He was. Yep.
But
he
like,
was.
okay, so there's
And I'm like, what's this dude all about? Why is this guy on all these clips?
okay,
and whatever?
so this is a maybe
And now
not-
he's gone.
Right.
And I haven't watched it.
Okay, so I've never watched AEW. All right, I watch wrestling, but I don't
you know
watch
that dude.
I don't know him. See,
MJF?
I watch
Man,
it.
it has fallen so
I
far.
watch so little of it that I don't even know who you're talking about.
Well, he's gone now.
But rest
He
in
was
peace.
the-
They were
Rest
rolling
in
for a
peace.
second.
He's not dead.
You don't know.
He's coming to WWE. You're gonna know him.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
he's
the
gonna
point.
come to WWE,
So
yeah.
this is another deal. I'm interested in the product. Like I like wrestling, just like I like basketball. So, but what's going to bring me to your channel? What's going to make me pay attention? AEW, from my perspective, they haven't had that yet. Not since I started watching wrestling.
But this dude was talking wild.
Oh no, I got it.
Wild, like
Right.
cursing like crazy, and
Right.
like just he was a loose cannon to the point where people were like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "All right, I gotta watch this guy."
Right, but like, so if a new version of that came to AEW, I'd probably be like, okay, I'm going to check this out.
That's right.
But that's what it's probably going to take.
For
It's
sure.
a person to bring me there, and that's what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA. Let's move on to the NBA Finals. It's not what I predicted, not even what I wanted. I'm fired up. I think this is great.
Great. Yes, this is a great finals for sure, because you've got, big time superstar talent that the other team is going to hate his guts, and they already hate Kyrie.
Right.
Like they're going to hate Luka because of the ref antics.
Right.
And they already hate Kyrie's guts.
Right.
And then on the other side, you've got this team that's been to 6 of 8 Eastern Conference Finals, been to 1 Finals, and then wasn't able to get it done. And Tatum came up like super small. Right? It was like, and I think that has really framed a lot of the Jason Tatum possibly unfounded skepticism.
Right.
We're about to find out.
Right.
Was the skepticism founded or unfounded, right? Because this guy has had massive performances. This guy has scored huge amounts of points in elimination games, et cetera, et cetera. But the last time, and he was younger, but the last time we saw him on the stage, Steph Curry boned that dude. Right? Steph Curry's dropping 43 and 34 in monster games. They're down 2-1. Curry drops 43. Tatum's a dog. It come down to game 6. Curry drops 34. Tatum's got 13 points on 6 of 18 shooting with 6 turnovers. And it's like, okay, here's your chance again, right? And now it's going to be, is Luka that Curry role, or I don't know.
Well, you wonder, like, there's a million ways it could work. Like, Tatum's back on the stage, so he's got that behind him.
I'm sorry. There is literally a lady standing across from me on the end of a building. I don't know if we have a camera outside.
Is she, like, going to do it?
No, I don't think she's jumping or anything, but, I mean, she is literally at the edge on the top of a building. It is very daunting. Yes.
Oh, no, not a red cap. She must be upset about the verdict.
Just very daunting.
She's got her red cap on. She must be upset by the verdict.
I dropped the phone.
She's going to end it over the verdict.
It's just odd to see somebody at the edge of the
Nah,
corner
man, there's a
of a very high building.
Yeah, like,
standing on the edge.
Don't do that. What if we witness?
So go back. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm
Jason
rattled.
Tatum.
Now I want to see if we can turn these cameras around.
She's not trying to do anything.
Do a
She's
play-by-play.
not. She's just on her phone.
She's just out there talking,
Yeah.
probably about the verdict.
Those AirPods are going to fall out, though. She's going to be sad.
He said 34 felonies.
34 felonies. You know it was rigged.
Yeah. All right. Back to the finals.
Okay.
Jason Tatum.
Okay, it could be Tatum's back on the stage. Lucas hadn't been here, like
That's right.
one of those. But let me ask you if you subscribe to this. There are some people who would say the Celtics are the better team. It's been true all year. They're the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, give me the better player.
Yep.
Give me because Jason Tatum's great, but he ain't one of the greatest.
Right.
Luka's one of the greatest. Give me that guy.
Well, there's two things with me. I agree. I think these games are going to be close. And if I accept that, the best clutch team throughout this has been Dallas, and the player I trust the most on the court, if it's nip tuck at the end of a game, is him.
And Kyrie can close it out too.
And the second thing is this. I've talked about for 8 years on the mismatch, I've talked about these soft tissue issues when people have calves and groins and hamstrings. I do not trust the Porzingis thing at all. I don't care what they're saying.
Right.
I don't care what they're saying. There's no. Maybe he could play that whole thing 100% and healthy. I doubt it.
Right.
I doubt it. You can bring a 7+ foot guy back who's had a sore calf and has not played since, and you could say, well, they haven't needed him, and that's why he hasn't been playing. It's hard to trust, and then it's very easy to have it happen again.
That's right.
And he's going to go out there and, like, you're putting Achilles into question then. I mean, we saw it with Durant. Like, I get it. It's the finals. It's a big stage. He's going to try to come back.
Right.
I just don't trust. Like, to me, if he were 100%, I view the series, and I view this a lot differently. But I just don't. I don't think he's going to be able to make it through the whole series.
Well, the only thing that would give me some optimism,
because he had hamstring earlier in the thing.
The only thing that would give me some optimism if I were a Celtics fan is that, leading up to the Eastern Conference Finals, they were like, he could be back.
That's right.
By the end of the Eastern Conference. They weren't like saying maybe by the NBA Finals. They had his possible return date earlier than Thursday.
They also said that about Giannis.
Right.
Giannis still can't walk.
Right.
Right.
No, I'm saying it would.
You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
always do this.
Right.
It never.
Nobody ever comes back on time.
Never.
No.
Except for Mike Conley did last.
And he was a shell of himself for
That's
games.
right. He wasn't
Yes.
good.
He
Yeah.
couldn't even move.
Right.
He shouldn't. He wouldn't. And in fact, he said after that game, there's zero chance he would have played.
Right.
If that were the regular season. I mean, if that were not the stage that it was.
You're trying to get
but
somewhere
he
you've
felt
never
like
been.
his team needed
Right,
him, and
right.
it felt like even if I could be a decoy.
It's maybe the last chance of his life to
I mean,
ever
you
do
saw,
this.
you saw OG Anunoby.
Yeah.
They said he was going to be able to come back, right? That dude lasted 3 minutes.
Yeah, gone. They put him out there, and it was like he's hobbled.
So I'll believe the Porzingis thing when I see it.
That's fair. That's
You know
fair.
what I mean?
All right. Get over to the big studio. You got a show to do in an hour.
Yeah, I do. I hope this lady's okay. I don't see her no more, so I hope I
She's
didn't
gone.
see her
Sorry.
turn around and
Yeah,
walk
you
back.
missed it.
She was hoping for a hung
If
jury.
there's- I don't know, bro. If there's a splat, I'm gonna feel bad.
She was hoping for a hung jury.
I hope she wasn't listening to our show on YouTube.
Oh,
Good
man,
luck.
that'd be tough. I hope she's okay. I hope she's
too.
okay. All right, that's Chris Vernon. He'll be back at noon. Grind City Media. When we come back, Colin Ward Henniger has got a new mock draft posted. CBSSports.com. I'll tell you who he's got the Grizzlies taking at 9. We'll do that next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
Let's talk about MVPs.
Let's do it. I went with the Joker.
Oh my God,
Nikola Jokic.
Nikola freaking Jokic.
Every time I
is
watch him play, I'm so impressed.
I'm obsessed with him.
Yeah.
Everything he does
works. He can pass, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can drive, he can defend. Like, he can do everything.
He can lead the fast break, and he's like 7'1".
IMHO with Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
If you look at it, as far as the number 9 pick over the years, there's been some pretty good players that have surfaced at number 9. Of course, Dirk Nowitzki, who won a championship. There's been a lot of great guys, but who knows if there is a great guy in this draft.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Gigi Jackson, I don't know if you know this, CJ, youngest player in the NBA, does not turn 20 until December of this year. He was the 45th pick in last year's draft. He becomes the first teenager, I believe, to be named to an all-rookie team without having been a first-round pick. Shout out Gigi Jackson.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Hey Grizzlies fans, after exciting hoops and a lucky night of gaming, where do you rest your head? Look no further than Southland Casino Hotel, proud sponsor of the Memphis Grizzlies. Our high-rise hotel is the epitome of luxury and comfort. Picture this, you've just finished an evening of gaming and dining, so you head on over to one of our 300 rooms to end the night. Choose from standard, suite, and presidential suite, plus we're pet-friendly and offer mobility scooters for rent. It's a seamless experience for everyone. And don't miss the Main Street Exchange, right in the heart of our casino lobby. Whether you're craving a snack or need a souvenir of your stay, we've got you covered. From polo shirts to shot glasses, take a piece of the Southland excitement home with you. So come stay and play at Southland Casino Hotel, where every moment is designed for your enjoyment. Book your hotel stay by calling 833-703-3350 or visit online at southlandcasinohotel.com/hotel.
Guests must be 21 years of age or older to check in at hotel. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Life Care Ambulance is proud to be an official partner of the Memphis Grizzlies and FedEx Forum. At Life Care, they wear their hearts with pride. Their passion is their people. They want you to love what you do and where you do it. Their employee-driven culture encourages a healthy work-life balance and supportive work environment. They invest in your success and well-being so that you can provide the best care for the patients that they serve. Join the incredible team of EMTs and paramedics in Memphis, Nashville, and across the nation today. Learn more at lifecareamb.com.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either, and that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's OrthoSouth at orthosouth.org. Now, I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Latest mock draft, CBSSports.com. It belongs to Colin Ward Henniger. He's got the Grizzlies select the 9th. You want to know why?
Why?
Because that's where they're picking.
That's correct.
Unless they move the pick. And do you know who they have them selected at number 9?
I'm going to say Rob Dillingham.
Dalton Connect, a shooting guard from the University
That's what ESPN has too.
of Tennessee.
That's why I was going to say that, but I switched it up because I figured it would be different.
Can I interest you in a Dalton Connect?
Well, that's a lot of smoke considering that Gavoni has the Grizzlies selecting him as well at 9. That's interesting.
Rob Dillingham would be on the board, according to Colin Ward Henniger. He goes 11th to the Chicago Bulls in this mock draft. The issue with Dillingham, he measured. He's a little guy like me.
Oh, no. He's got little arms.
Yeah, just a little guy like me.
You can't have little arms in this league, dude.
A lot of people, when they talk about Rob Dillingham, they say, he reminds me a little bit of Gary Parrish.
Yeah, he can't have little arms in this league.
And he doesn't guard anybody. And so it's one of those things where I'm a big believer in, like, don't overlook what is right in front of you. Don't swear by it, but, like, just don't ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing with Dillingham that is right in front of you is that he's little bitty and he doesn't guard anybody.
Okay.
So if you get in the NBA and you look up and he's averaging 7 minutes a game as a rookie for even a lottery team, and you go, man, what's going on with Rob Dillingham? Somebody will say, well, the problem with him is he's little and he doesn't guard anybody.
We need length. We need length.
They need length.
Yep.
And so Dillingham, I think he's just a bad fit for the Grizzlies anyway. I would not take him, though I'm interested in the talent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not dismissive of Rob Dillingham. This is not me saying he's going to be a bust.
And
I'm just
saying
saying
the number one high school guy, right?
He was among them.
Yeah, I got you.
He was among them. I'm not saying he's going to be a bust because I don't believe that. I am interested in the offensive talent and the shot creation. But if he doesn't work out, like if you look up and it's like, man, remember when some people thought Rob Dillingham would be a top 5 pick, and now look, he's in year 3 and it just ain't happening? It'll be because he's little and he doesn't guard anybody.
Okay.
And he's not just little like short, he's little like little. Like I'm just short. I'm not really that little. Yeah. He's like little. So that's a problem. Dalton Connect, he's not little. That's length, buddy. 6'7".
Length,
Can I interest you in some 6'7" Dalton Connect?
You know, if the Grizzlies stayed at number 9 and took Dalton Connect, I would not come in here the next day and be like, man, we'll see.
I think he's going
like,
to be.
okay.
I think Dalton Connect is going to be maybe the best offensive rookie in the NBA next season.
Okay.
Big body, broad shoulders, nice release, reliable shooter. I like him. If you told me right now I could snap my fingers and the Grizzlies end up with Dalton Connect, fine with me.
Now he's another guy that can't guard.
No, but he's not little.
He's not little.
Yeah,
right,
I mean, listen,
he can learn.
He's not going to be, an ideal 3-and-D type guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to guard your best perimeter, the other team's best perimeter player, right? But I think we got somebody who can do that.
I believe we do.
Right.
I believe we do.
So if you end up with a Dalton Connect, I like it. Interesting in this mock draft at number 8. So just one pick before the Grizzlies are projected to select. Donovan Clingan goes to San Antonio. So
yeah, and there's a lot of stuff going. Like there was a rumor today that the Grizzlies are interested in moving up to try to get him. There was it was Grizzlies in Houston possibly doing something.
But like my point is, it's not outlandish to think that he could slip to 9. I do not believe he will. But but it's not impossible that he could slip to 9 and be available to you at 9. And I would like that as well. He's probably the best fit in terms of positional need. Fit if you're focusing on fit, and I don't necessarily think he should in the top 10, but if you're focusing on fit, Clingan is an obvious fit. In this mock going 8th to San Antonio.
Interesting.
But just one spot ahead of where the Grizzlies are picking at 9.
San Antonio's interesting too.
Well, because Wembanyama can just float around, You think, well, they've already got a center.
Right.
But like Wembanyama he is a center because you've got to assign a position to him. You have to call him something. But he doesn't have to be Victor Wembanyama.
He could probably play point guard for you.
I mean, he could play. Right. He is a front court player who could play with any other kind of front court player.
Yes.
Like you could pair anybody with him and it works. So traditional center and then God, think about that. Give it 3 years. Mm-hmm. But Clingan and Wembanyama?
Yeah, and then I would think they would do something big in free agency to try, because, you just have no guards, right?
Well, they need to add a point guard.
Yeah.
They tried to do hey, let's see if we can play without a point guard thing for much of last season, and that doesn't. I'm not saying it can't work, but it did. I can say it didn't. It did not in San Antonio. So they've got, multiple high picks. I think 2 of the top 8. I think they're picking 4th and 8th. So they could go point guard with 1. Man, if Clingan's there at 8. So Nikola Topic is who Colin Woodhanger has. So this, you never know if you can hit on all these picks. But just think about if you already hit on Wembanyama. That's clear.
That's right. Yeah.
You hit on Topic, who's a 6'6" point guard, and then hit on Clingan. Now you're ready to go.
You're golden.
I mean, if you can hit these, if you got to hit them, but if you can hit these top 8 picks and pair them with Wembanyama, and you look up in 3 years, the Spurs look like, that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
So Grizzlies picking 9th. Latest mock draft, CBSSports.com. Dalton Connect is the selection. I'll have mine updated later in the week.
Number 2.
College baseball super regionals are set. Bennett, can you follow this? Do you follow this? Do you care?
So I care more than I did. It was interesting when y'all brought it up in the WNBA discussion because I do think that is also one of those sports that just wasn't even on the radar to me 5 years ago. And now I know when it comes around, and all the SEC teams are typically involved, all the big-time programs. And so, yeah, I watch it more than I did. Yeah.
I haven't watched any yet. I did turn it on last night.
Also, you get guys that are going straight to Major League Baseball rosters, which is kind of interesting.
Not often.
But you had Paul Skeens, and you had who was it the year before? God, why can't I think of who it was the year before?
There was a pitcher who was in the College World Series and then pitched in the playoffs in the same year.
Yeah,
a few years ago. So that's unique, but not unprecedented. I haven't watched hardly any of it. I don't follow it at all.
I don't really either.
But if I did, I'm confident I would enjoy it. It's just I don't have the bandwidth for it. I don't have enough space or time to follow another sport. Unless there's just something that draws me to it, like a Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been one of those.
Damn.
But I will say, when I was talking to Vernon earlier, he said, you could come on and open a show on college baseball, but nobody cares. And I agree with the premise. Like, you can't really.
Right.
Like, I can't come on today and open on super regionals, I don't think. But I do think people care about this stuff.
They clearly do.
But it's one of those things where it's a little bit, tell me if this makes sense. It's a little bit like the NHL. Like, you can't say nobody cares about the NHL.
Right.
Because you look at the arenas, they're all filled up. They're on national television. The arenas are filled up.
Yeah, they're getting big TV deals.
People care.
Yep.
Okay? But if you're not one of the people who care, you don't know anything about it.
I agree with that.
That's what college baseball is. People care, but if you're not one of the people who care, you don't know anything about it because it's not shoved down your throat. It's just, it's there. It's happening. It's not like whether you care about Caitlin Clark or the WNBA, you can't miss it right now. It's everywhere you turn. All right? College baseball is not like that. The NHL is not like that. I can miss the NHL. I didn't even know until yesterday that the Stanley Cup final was set. Until I was prepping for yesterday's show, it didn't even occur to me that, we're all down to 2.
Yep.
I'm aware it's happening, but it's not shoved down your throat. The Caitlin Clark stuff right now, it's shoved down your throat. Anything LeBron is shoved down your throat. The Jordan debates, you can't miss those.
Right.
There are certain things that
we're getting close to those coming back.
All things NFL, you can't miss it. But college baseball, it's this thing that matters, but unless it matters to you, you're just not really aware of what's happening. Yeah. But I have started noticing, I'll be out, and maybe this is just the settings I'm in, but I'm at my little guy's baseball practice, and there will be a dad over there streaming a Tennessee game on his phone, right? And, I'll be at some sort of social function, and somebody will ask me, so what do you think about LSU? And I'm like, I don't think anything about LSU. I don't know anything. You know more about it than I do. But that suggests to me. And then you look at the college baseball stadiums. They're filled up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're down in Oxford a lot.
Those SEC games are packed.
I mean, you go down there on a baseball weekend and you feel it. You're like, man, something's going on here. It used to just feel that way for football weekends.
Right.
But it can, not always, but it can feel that way for a baseball weekend as well. So I'm going to try to get involved in these super regionals. Got the matchups for you. Kyra showed them to you earlier. Tennessee, Evansville. Florida State, UConn.
What's going on in Evansville?
I don't know what's going on in Evansville.
I saw that graphic. It's like a who's who of college sports, and then Evansville's just chilling right there.
The Evansville Purple Aces.
Is that Evansville, Indiana?
Yeah.
That'd be right?
I think so.
Okay.
Sure. Florida State, UConn. UConn trying to win another championship. Haven't they done enough?
Yeah,
chill out, UConn. Virginia, Kansas State, North Carolina, West Virginia, Kentucky, Oregon State, Georgia, NC State, Clemson, Florida, Texas A&M, Oregon. So a lot of SEC. There's a large SEC presence, and the reason is because the SEC wins the championship every year.
Every year. Who do I want to hitch my wagon to?
Hitch your wagon to somebody. Let's hitch our wagons.
Who do I want to hitch my wagon to?
Can you not hitch your wagon to Tennessee? You have your hatred runs too deep.
I mean, yes, it does. I will not hitch my wagon to them.
Can't do that.
but
I can't. Go Vols. I'm happy for Tennessee.
I don't trust
Go
Evansville.
Vols.
I kind of want Evansville because they're like the clear outlier in this whole big picture, but I don't think they have a chance
Against the Vols.
You know who kind of is standing out right here to me?
Oregon and Oregon State.
I like the West Coast thing.
Oregon
I
State,
like that.
there's the
I like
Beavers.
the West Coast jumping
Do
in.
you have Beaver Fever?
I like the Beavers.
If you have Beaver Fever, confess right now.
I like the
Do
Beavers.
you have Beaver Fever?
And after what happened to the Beavers with the Pac-12, I kind of want to root for the Beavers.
Pac-12 left them behind.
Pac-12 left them behind, said, F y'all. Well, you know what? We're going to go win a baseball championship.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
You want to blow our league up? You want to blow our league up? Fine, we'll win a baseball championship.
I want to
Beaver
see
Fever.
that. Beaver Fever.
Beaver
I'm
Fever.
in. Also, West Virginia kind of standing out because they've been down bad lately.
Yeah.
They've been down so bad.
They lost Hugs.
When has West Virginia won anything recently?
That's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's tough. I don't know.
I think I got Beaver Fever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beaver Fever's fine. I think I'm going to go for the Vols. We're in the state of Tennessee, aren't we? Aren't we in the state of Tennessee? Why can't I go for the Vols?
Listen, I've changed how I feel about the Vols as I've gotten older because I'm trying to be more mature and kind and thoughtful and but like me physically rooting for them to win something, I just can't bring myself to that yet.
I can do it.
I can't.
I have multiple friends who played baseball at Tennessee. They multiple they it's their alma mater. They're proud members of that baseball program.
I've known some good Vols fans over the years. I've also known some bad ones.
I've known some bad ones.
Known some bad ones that I didn't like too much.
We've all known them, I'm going to root for the Vols.
Orange makes me want to throw up a little bit.
Orange doesn't make me want to throw up at all.
Makes me want to puke a little bit
Not
all over
me.
this desk.
I don't want to throw up at the sight of any color. No color would make me want to puke.
Okay, all right. I got Beaver Fever, so that's who I'm rolling with. Oregon State, baby.
Okay.
Is that it? Is it Beaver Fever? Or did you just make that up?
There was a guy on Twitter a few years ago harassing me. He thought I wasn't giving Oregon State enough credit for whatever Oregon State was doing.
Was this when Obama's brother-in-law was coaching?
No, but I went there.
You met him.
I know him.
Yeah.
How about this? How about quick aside? So I go to Oregon State to visit with Craig Robinson, who is Michelle Obama's brother.
Yes.
And this is when Barack and Michelle were running for president and I guess first lady. When Barack Obama was running for president the first time. All right. And I go there. I'm trying to put it together. It must have been early August because I was there for a Nike event in Oregon. And I decided Craig Robinson's now the coach at Oregon State, and his brother-in-law is running for president. This is I just go, and the whole premise of the column was like, I don't want to talk to this guy about I don't want to make it about his brother-in-law. I don't want to make it about his sister. But man, when you get here and you can't help but like this man is really related to a woman who is about to possibly achieve some unprecedented stuff, and his brother-in-law. Yeah, everybody knows the story. And so anyway, I spent the day with him at his home, and the little girls were there because Barack and Michelle were out campaigning, and the daughters, Sasha, Malia, they were staying.
That's cool.
With Craig and his family, and they had Secret Service at the house.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, that's the weirdest thing. He's like, these are just my nieces, but now because my sister's life and my brother-in-law's life has changed so much, like we have Secret Service here in Oregon. Like the whole but this is the one memory I have from the whole conversation. I said, do you ever think about, I don't remember exactly, but I was like, it was something along the lines of, do you ever think about your sister really might be the first lady of the United States? Your brother-in-law might really not only be the next president of the United States, but the first black president of the United States. Like, did that register with you? And he stopped me, and you know what he said? My brother-in-law is going to be the first black president.
How about that? Stand on it, and he was.
He stood on it. He was like, "No, this isn't even a debate. Right? Like, there's no question in my mind. This is happening. He is going to win this election. He's going to be a president of the United States of America." How about that?
How about that?
Beaver Fever.
Yeah, Beaver Fever.
So no,
I can find their slogan. Their motto is "Out There."
I don't know. I can't say that. But what I can say is a few years ago when Oregon State was achieving some stuff, whatever they were achieving, there was this fellow on Twitter. he was attacking me. He was ruthless.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say his handle or something, he had a hashtag.
Yeah.
It was Beaver Fever.
Yeah.
Beaver Fever.
Pretty good.
You got Beaver Fever right now.
I do have Beaver Fever.
On a Tuesday.
Let's go.
Before noon.
Let's go. That's my orange. The burnt orange.
Burnt orange. Tuesday before noon. Beaver Fever.
Let's get it.
Okay, Bennett. Let's get it.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3.
Oh, I got a wild one for you.
What's going on?
Man, you ain't got no idea what's happening out in this world. You don't even know. 74-year-old woman. She was in hospice care in Nebraska.
Oh, no.
Yeah, sad. But if we all live long enough, we're all going to end up in hospice care. You ever think about that? That's a fun thing to think about.
Yeah.
If you're lucky enough to live a long life, you will probably end up in hospice care.
Bro, last night, my kid looks me dead in the eye and goes, Dad, when you turn 40, you'll pass away.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, thanks, son.
Does that always stick with you? You think that'll always stick with you? That until you turn 40?
Like, that is the most random thing for someone to say at dinner. And now, like, all I can think about is, okay, cool. I got 3 years left. Like,
I'll tell you, when I had a friend one time, and she's kind of a weirdo.
Yeah.
And she might have been high.
Yeah.
Either way. But we were just sort of hanging out. And she was... this has always stuck with me. Of all the stupid conversations I had in my life, I don't know why I remember this one, but I remember this one.
Yep.
And we're just talking. She was like, she said, you ever think about how you're going to die? And I was like, nah, I like to think about other things. I try to think about other things. And she said, I know how you're going to die. And I said,
what?
What? That's what I said. And she said, I don't actually know how, but it will be abrupt.
Oh, my God.
And I said, I am constantly waiting to die abruptly. That's a weird thing to have stuck in your head.
That is, that's tough, dude.
Like, I just think like I'm just going to die right out there, just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Well, I got 2.5 years left now. At this
well,
point,
congrats.
So
congrats.
I got to live it up.
Yeah. But if you ever make it past 40 and say get up to, say, 74, that's what this woman was.
Yes.
You could end up in hospice care too. That's a hell of a thing to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
So, anyway, a 74-year-old woman.
In Nebraska.
Yep.
One of my favorite albums.
She's in hospice care at a, facility. And they pronounce her dead. They come in and they say, oh, that's it for her. She's dead. It's 9:44 a.m. This happened, I believe, yesterday.
Okay.
So 9:44 a.m. yesterday, she's pronounced dead. They take her to the funeral home because that's what they do.
Yes.
And 2 hours later, somebody at the funeral home was like, this person's breathing.
What?
Person's breathing. We should take them to the hospital. They don't belong at the funeral home yet. We should take them to the hospital.
Yeah.
Because they're breathing. The person's
got
not
a heart
dead.
rate.
See, usually the people we have here at the funeral home, they're dead. This person's not dead. Person doesn't belong here. What a wild deal. Imagine waking up in a funeral home.
That would be, yeah.
I mean, I woke up on a picnic table before. That was strange. But never a funeral home. I think that would be stranger. Particularly if you were in a casket or something.
That would be wild.
Imagine
I
wake
wake up on my couch sometimes and
I don't know
where
where
am
I?
I?
Don't know where I'm at. Don't know what I did. Don't know how I got here. Don't know.
That's tough.
That's tough.
Yeah.
And here's the wildest part of the story. As I'm reading the story, do you realize this is the third time in the past year in the United States of America that we have had a person taken to a funeral home pronounced dead only to wake up and be very not dead at a funeral home.
How does that happen?
I don't know, but it's 3 times in the past year, all 3 times women. Why are we trying to kill these women?
I mean,
prematurely.
Clearly, something happens to where the people taking care of them assume that they're dead. Like, so they probably stop breathing or they lose a pulse or something like that. But once you wait a second,
I think you got to make sure on something like this.
I think you would just say, hey, there's a 30-minute grace period. We're just going to leave this dead person here and wait and see if anything happens before we do next steps.
I might even take it to 45, Bennett.
Yeah.
I might even say we're gonna make sure this person doesn't breathe for 45 minutes.
Yes.
Before we pronounce them dead. I just feel like this is something you got to be right about. Can't be guessing.
You really can't.
You can guess on certain things in life, Like, whether your pizza rolls are done. You can guess on that because, you take one little bite.
Oof, ow.
Ow, or cold, But you can take a guess. You can figure that one out. No harm done. You can guess on your pizza rolls. Are my pizza rolls done or not? You can guess on that. No harm done. Is Judith dead? We might need to be right about that.
Yes.
We might need
to get that one right.
You gotta get that one right. They taken these women. It's all three of them in the past year. They take them all to the funeral home. They said they're dead, but they're not. 3 times it's happened, and all 3 times women. You think that's just a coincidence? You think there's something bigger thing going on? Might have to look in that For You tab. They probably
look in that For You. Check that.
Probably in that For You tab. They probably got some theories on what's happening. I bet you. Anyway. The good news is, I don't know that there is any good news. It's not like this woman's going to live another 10 years or anything.
No, I mean, this probably took years off of her life, this whole traumatic experience. So,
well, I wish her luck in if not in this life, then in the afterlife.
Yeah, good luck, ma'am.
Good luck, ma'am. Sorry.
Number 4.
Sorry we tried to send her there early. Not her fault though. She's just doing the best she can.
Yeah.
Dabo Swinney, did you see this character?
I saw it.
This fella, he did a recruiting. He was hosting recruits, and he was doing a video because I guess that's the type of thing you got to do these days if you're a football coach.
Yeah.
Jump on TikTok.
Yeah.
Better get you a TikTok account.
Well, doesn't Brian Kelly do like the dance? Dancing
I
video?
seen one of them, and then I muted Brian Kelly. I was like, nobody ever needs to see that again.
Yeah.
So I hit mute on that. So here's a Dabo, and what it looks like is he happens, and I guess this could happen to any of it, but he appears to forget the name of the recruit that he is shooting a video with. Keep in mind, this is Dabo Swinney trying to convince this young man to be a Clemson Tiger, but he doesn't appear to know his name. Let's watch and laugh about this together.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Braden Jacobs checking in at Clemson's official visit weekend with my best friend and head coach, Dabo Swinney.
Hey, and I'm Coach Dabo Swinney, Clemson football, hanging out with
Braden Jacobs.
The best. 5-star. You 5-star? You're 5-star in my book.
I should be a 5-star.
You're a 10-star. 10-star in my book. What do you think? You ever seen a bedazzled football?
I've never seen a bedazzled football. First one.
Hey, and we got another. Well, he's on the other side, so.
Yeah,
well,
is
it okay? So you're still going.
Is
it okay?
either.
Having in your video?
Still going to Clemson.
You be in the video? A lot of battles between these two one day. A lot of battles.
All right. That was awkward.
Yikes.
God, I don't know why. Man, there ain't. Wouldn't you, if you were Dabo Swinney, be like, all right, let's start over? Remember when we used to pre-tape shows?
Yes.
And every once in a while.
That's right. Let's start
every
over.
once in a while, I'd just be like, you know what? That didn't go well. Let's do that again.
Yep.
Let's just start this over. And I'm sure that was frustrating for you because it wasn't your fault it wasn't going well. It was probably my fault it wasn't going well.
Except that day we left the F word in.
You did do that.
That was a tough day. I did. Yes.
I mean, you did do that.
Yeah.
You left so we would pre-tape these things, and every once in a while I'd say, hey, let's do this over. You did leave the F word.
I did.
Buddy,
loud and clear over all of Memphis to hear. Yikes, that was tough.
For people who don't know that story.
My phone blew up.
So we were pre-taping the show because I had to be in studio in New York at like 4 o'clock, and the show airs at, we had to pre-tape the show.
Yeah.
So we recorded the whole show. And the way my phone, everything is like everything's connected, all this stuff, right? So my phone's connected to my computer, it's connected to my iPad. Like, you might text message to me, and if my little guy's got my iPad, he might hit you back with an emoji or something, right? Everything's connected. So one day we're pre-taping, and it lines up exactly with when my kids are getting out of school.
Yes.
And it's very sweet. Like my boys would like to FaceTime me, right? There'll be a day when they don't want to talk to their dad anymore. And then, you'll go through that phase and you hope they'll come back around.
Yeah.
But, we're still in that phase where you're, kids want to get out of school. They want to talk to their dad. It's really sweet. But I'm trying to do a show. So I'm sitting here and I'm doing the show, and it's like FaceTime pops up. And it's like FaceTime, it pops up. But I mean, it's distracting when it pops up on your computer. So I hit reject at one point, decline, and I'm just trying to still talk. Keep in mind, I'm sitting in a hotel room by myself talking to you, but I can't see you. And I'm just probably rambling on about Caitlin Clark or some other ridiculous thing. Phone rings again, FaceTime, decline again. Phone rings again, decline again. And you think after this, I know it's one of my little guys, because if it was, Kelly, she would just know, well, he's clearly pre-taping a show. He'll call me when he can. But the little guys, they're relentless.
They don't know,
They did, or they don't care, one of the two. So they just keep hitting them. So finally, at one point, it just becomes clear this is not going to stop, and it's very distracting, and I'm losing focus. And I go, F, Bennett, let me take this phone call, just F. And I'm not mad that my kids are calling. I'm just frustrated by the experience because I'm probably tired and we're running behind and everything. But that's like on the recording. I'm like, it's something exactly like this. And Penny Hardaway now got the #1 recruiting class in America. And assuming everybody enrolls and stays healthy, I could certainly see him being a preseason top 5. F, Bennett, just let me take this call. Just give me a second. But all right, talk to me. Then it's immediately take the call. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Yep.
Oh man, how was school? That kind of stuff. And we do that for a couple of minutes, and to come back, and it's like, all right, let's just pick up. Let's pick up at this place. Then it's like, all right. So we pick up, start taping again, and what we're supposed to do is go back and delete.
That's correct.
That part, and then pick up at the part where I said, Bennett forgot to delete.
It did not get deleted.
So when we're running it back, you have the whole thing. I mean, I think it even ran back like me on the phone with my kid.
The funny thing is it was playing and I was in a different studio, and I mean my phone immediately was like, whoa, what just happened?
I think I was like walking to work and my phone blows up. I'm like walking to the streets of New York and my phone's like, GP just said F on and I was like, that was supposed to be deleted. Hey, it happens, right?
Hey, it happens.
My point
now
is...
it's Kyra's problem.
Now it's Kyra's problem. My point is, if I would have been Dabo Swinney in that moment, whether you would have accurately deleted it or not, I would have asked you to delete it and start over.
Yes.
Because we can't have this video out there. So that's tough.
Yeah.
On the other hand...
It's embarrassing.
Man, I know what that's like. I cannot remember anybody's name. Ever. I don't know anybody's name. I just spent 4 days in California with people, and the biggest struggle I had was trying to keep people's names straight. Like, it took me till day 3 to learn Grace.
Yep. Yep.
And I'd been around Grace, but it took me to day 3 before I could comfortably say, that's Grace.
Yep. When we moved into our new home, I made it a point. I was like, I suck at this. I've done this everywhere I've been. I have to make sure that I know everyone's name of my new neighbors. Yeah. And so when we introduce, I'm going to say it in my head over and over and over again. I swear to God, one of them, I'm 70% sure I know his name. And I'm so scared to say, hey, so-and-so, because I'm scared I'm going to get it wrong.
And I will never say, I go out of my way not to say people's names because I'm so second guessing. Even if I think I know your name, I'm just scared that I won't. No,
it's a problem.
It's a real problem.
Yeah, it's a problem. There's things you can practice to help, and I need to do that.
But there's just too many names out there, and too many people.
Too many different names.
I can't keep track. I have really wondered about this. I've always meant to ask, like Mike Norvell, Ryan Silverfield, any football coach that I could ask. I'd be comfortable enough asking a question like this. How do you know all your players' names?
Oh, they just had to say the number. Football coaches just say the number.
I know, but do you think Mike Norvell knows every Florida State player? Like, if I gave him a test, he could get it 100% right.
No, I do not believe that.
See, I think he probably could, but I don't know how he could.
I'm not sure he could.
I couldn't.
No, I couldn't either.
I couldn't show up at Thanksgiving at my cousin's house and identify everybody. Do you understand that?
Right. I'm with you.
I mean, people I'm technically related to.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, who is that again? And they'd be like, oh, that's so-and-so's third kid. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. But I can't keep straight. Yeah. I can't keep it straight.
The worst part of the video is him being like he gets embarrassed and then he's like, oh, no, you're a 10-star recruit.
Oh, just shut up and move on.
Just keep going.
Oh, buddy, if he was a 10-star, you'd know his name, I bet.
Yeah, I bet you would. I bet you would, Dabo.
If he's a 10-star, I'd probably know his name.
I know.
But think about it. As you're a football coach, you're bringing in all these people every weekend. It's no different than me going to California for a wedding.
Right.
I got to figure out who Grace is and who Emily is. You know? It's hard.
It's tough.
Sometimes you think Emily is Grace.
It's tough.
And then you got to ask somebody. And imagine if you're a football coach, you got to do that every weekend. It's a fresh cast of characters every weekend. You got to keep all their names straight. I don't envy that.
I don't either.
That's not a life I want. Either. That's not the life I want. So, did I laugh at Dabo? Of course I did.
Of course.
He's easy to laugh at. He's easy to laugh at.
Very.
Maybe the easiest. But do I also understand the struggle of trying to remember people's names? I do.
Yeah.
I do understand that.
Number 5.
We got big news in the soda world.
What's going on?
Oh, man, you don't even want to know.
I want to know.
Okay. I mean, Bennett, when I was growing up in the 80s, there was a big war.
Yes.
I mean, there was obviously the Cold War. That was probably the biggest, I guess.
But the second biggest
was Coke versus Pepsi. All right? It was the soda war of the 80s. And Pepsi nearly won it. It was close, you know?
Yes.
But they didn't win it. Coke won.
Yeah. We love Pepsi, though.
But now, Bennett, in the year 2024, the year of our Lord. Is that the way you say that?
Yes.
Okay. In the year of our Lord, 2024, Pepsi is not even the number 2 soda anymore.
Wow. Is it? I mean, it's got to be. I want to guess. It's got to be from one of these families, though. Like there's Coke products and there's Pepsi products. This
Bennett, Coca-Cola remains the number 1 soda in the world.
Yeah, and number 2 is gonna be. Is it? Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. Can you give me a hint?
Yeah, I can give you a hint, sure.
Is it like a cola or is it like
It's a cola.
It's a cola. It's Dr. Pepper.
It is Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, it's Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper is now the number 2 soda in the world.
People are obsessed with Dr. Pepper. Like it's fine. I
love it.
People that love Dr. Pepper stand on it. Like nobody waves the flag for their soda more than Dr. Pepper fans.
That might be true.
It's really true. So this isn't that shocking to me.
The only thing that's shocking to me, and it's not clear to me, when we say Coca-Cola is the number 1 soda in America, does that also involve Diet Coke and Coke Zero? Is that all under the Coca-Cola umbrella? My point being is Dr. Pepper, does that also involve Diet Dr. Pepper? Because I'm a Diet Dr. Pepper drinker.
I think Diet Dr. Pepper might be more popular than regular Dr. Pepper.
I didn't always believe that or agree with it, but I think it's true. I think
some people say it's a superior flavor.
See, I never thought that, but I just had to give up Big Dr. Pepper.
Okay, well, there's no difference.
Well, there is.
That's just a lie.
One of them's 240 calories and the other one's 0.
Okay.
You can't. You don't.
Whatever.
You're a doubter.
I'm just saying.
You're a calorie doubter.
I'm just saying.
You think there's
a lot of
no
stuff
difference
in those sodas, man.
You don't think there's no difference between Diet Coke and Coke Zero? I mean, between Coke Zero and like Big Coke. One is a lot of calories and the other one's 0. What are you talking about?
What do you have in your house?
Coke Zero and Diet Dr. Pepper.
And Diet Dr. Pepper. Yeah. Okay.
I used to swear by Dr. Pepper. I grew up on it. I drink 40 a day.
Yeah.
And you get to a point, like at my age, you can't drink Dr. Pepper like that.
No, I don't drink a lot of soda.
So I drink diet. When I do drink sodas, I drink diet sodas, 0 calories, because I figure I want to get my calories from, gluten-free Oreos or something.
Yes.
Not from a soda.
Right.
But you're claiming there's no difference.
I like a soda.
I reject that.
I like a soda.
I think you're spreading misinformation. You're going to have to take this to the Pat McAfee show. If you want to spread this misinformation about soda, you could take this over to Joe Rogan.
I like a soda as like a
This sounds like it belongs on Joe Rogan.
I like a soda as like a little treat.
Do you think it's a treat?
A soda is a treat. Yeah. That's how.
Do you think it's weird if you pop one in the morning?
Yes. Yes, dude.
Says one morning
you can't start your day off with a soda.
Because one morning we were doing the Ion College basketball podcast, and it's like, everybody's on camera, but we hadn't started yet. And so it's just me and Norlander and Kanata there. And I popped a Coke Zero, and I just took a swig. And they were like, dude, you're drinking soda at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, that'd make my brain malfunction.
My brain was fine.
Was it?
I mean, it's fine as ever.
No, listen, and this is coming from someone that used to drink soda like crazy as a child. Like I was drinking all of it.
Me too.
Yeah. Now I've dialed it back a ton and rarely drink it. Like there's no sodas in our
my
fridge.
oldest son never drinks soda.
Like he didn't like it, or
he just never even tried it.
He just never tried.
I mean, I don't want to be that dumb dad who's like, my son never did anything, and then he's like, shooting heroin.
Right.
To my knowledge, he has never actually had a soda. My little guy though, he'll steal you one. He'll steal one right out of the fridge. He's got no shame. He used to try to hide with it. Now he's just out in the open with it.
I like it as a treat.
Like you ever meet that person and you're like, oh, you catch them smoking. And you're like, oh, well, I didn't know you smoked. And that's because they were trying to keep it from you. They're like, I didn't want you to see it, But then they get comfort enough where they just smoke in front of you.
Right.
That's the way he is with Coke Zeros now. Now he just pop one open right in front of you. There's no fear involved. He's comfortable enough now. I submit that there is a difference between diet sodas and regular sodas. In fact, when I see somebody, a person my age, grab a regular soda, I don't understand what they're doing. I go, man, you're real cocky about your metabolism. You're real cocky with your metabolism, grabbing that full Coke as opposed to a Coke Zero.
Well, no, that's the good thing.
You must have great metabolism.
See, that's why my method works, because when you treat it as a special occasion kind of treat, just go all in.
Okay.
You don't have to hold back.
I'd rather hold back.
Full throttle.
No, I'd rather hold back. I haven't. So I drink Dr. Peppers every day. I haven't had a normal Dr. Pepper or a normal soda of any kind probably 10 years.
Interesting.
Not one. Now, I'll have a diet soda right now. I'll even mess around with a Diet Mountain Dew.
Those are pretty good.
Oddly, 10 calories. Why is...
Actually, that one suffers the most from their diet.
Why is it 10 calories?
Like a regular Mountain Dew is crispy and delicious. A Diet Mountain Dew is not even close.
Here's the thing, though. This is where I'm at now. I don't even know what normal Mountain Dew tastes like anymore. I don't even know what a normal Dr. Pepper... I know it does.
It tastes really good.
I know, but I don't know. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I ain't experienced it. It'd be like if you're over there bragging about watching your 75-inch TV, and I'm like, I'm sure it's great, but I have seen nothing but a 48-inch TV for the past 10 years. So I ain't missing your 75-inch TV.
Yeah.
I don't know no better. All right, this is all I know is this 48-inch. It's not like I'm going back and forth. All right, I ain't pitting them against each other. I reached a point in my life where I couldn't take those calories anymore. I said, I got to have a diet soda.
Right.
And so now I don't even know what regular soda tastes like. I have nothing to compare it to.
Interesting.
It is
I
interesting.
think you need to hop back on that train.
I might one night, when I'm getting wild and I got a few days off.
Get wild, dude.
When I got a few days off, I might go get a full Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
How you feel about Pepsi products in general? Because this is a bad day for Pepsi. It is a tough day for Pepsi. Pepsi used to be, eye to eye with Coca-Cola. Now they just got passed by Dr. Pepper.
I love Pepsi products.
Buddy, there ain't nothing more disappointing. You're in a restaurant and you say, I'll take a Coke Zero. And they say
that.
They say that. What am I? All right. Delete. Remember I told you we delete stuff sometimes?
I was like, you better be careful.
Remember when I told you we delete
Pepsi
stuff
products.
sometimes?
I stand on it.
We should probably delete this. I tell you what, I like a good Diet Mountain Dew.
Man.
There ain't nothing I enjoy more at a Grizzlies game than a Diet Mountain Dew.
You know what would save Pepsi? If they brought back the old can. Because people just love nostalgia. Bring back the red, white, and blue. And I know it's still a version of that, but they went all blue. Like, you need to you bring back the white can with, like, the red and the blue on it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, make our country great again.
I tell you what, I know that Pepsi is no longer the second greatest soda in America. But I do enjoy a nice Diet Pepsi at FedEx Forum.
I like a regular one.
Yeah, I can't do all that.
How about that?
I'm not crazy. But I do sometimes feel like a idiot. You go to Taco Bell and you order, hey, give me one of them grilled cheese burritos and a chalupa and a bean burrito and a Diet Mountain Dew. You ever wonder if the person taking your order is like, you idiot?
Yeah, just drink that regular.
I mean, what? You're already doing 1,500 calories, fatty.
Yeah.
Just do these.
Just go all in.
Just do a normal Pepsi.
It doesn't matter at that point.
It doesn't matter, fatty. Stop being ridiculous. Like your Diet Mountain Dew is going to help you. Those 10 calories that they put in that Diet Mountain Dew, I don't know where they come from, though.
Yeah.
Why is Diet Pepsi 0 and Diet Mountain Dew is 10?
I don't know. That is interesting.
Dew carries with it 10 calories, and there's no way around it. I think that's what the science shows. That Dew, no matter, you can have Diet Dew or full Dew, but it's going to be 10 calories no matter what.
Do the Dew.
Do the Dew. Anyway, shouts to Pepsi. I can't wait for next season.
Me either.
Right. We'll be back with GP's Carryout.
Mike did his favorite black films of all time. Mike, where we at?
If there's one movie I know every single line to, it is Coming to America.
There we go.
It is Coming to America. It can come on any time of any day, and I'm going to stop and watch at least 20 minutes of it.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
I think we have the college basketball title futures. UConn's number 1.
I really like Houston. I'd have them winning it all, but you can't be giving Drake jerseys. What is wrong with you?
Maybe the Drake curse is stronger in college basketball.
How long has he been riding with Kentucky?
He wore an Alabama jersey and Saban retired.
The Odds Couple with Rob Fisher, Lang Whitaker, John Roser, and CJ Hurt live Thursdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
36.5 vertical?
Watch your head.
Yeah, you said it was 44.
You sure I said that?
36 and a half.
36 and a half is big.
36 and a half. I've got bench press here.
18 times.
17.
Okay.
You always have to put a little barbecue
It's
sauce.
all barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce on the wings.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
The Grizz girls are no ordinary dance team. They're known across the NBA for setting the standard for world-class dance and entertainment. From hip-hop to jazz, the Grizz girls do it all. And they're looking for talented dancers with dynamic personalities to join the team. Do you have what it takes to join a premier NBA dance team and entertain Grizz Nation both on the court and in the community? Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information and show us what you've got at open auditions Saturday, July 13th.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. Let's wrap it up. We're almost running out of time, man. We're running late. Let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
All right. It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
A whole bunch of stuff, but we mostly focused on the biggest topic in sports these days. That's the WNBA. How long do you think this is going to last? Is this one of those deals where we just got a few days, we got to fill space?
No.
Or you think this is a real thing? Like, we're going to be talking about this. NBA Finals are underway Thursday. We're right in the middle of them next week, and we still might leave 5 more things on Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese for some WNBA topic.
I think the league has definitely got some legs now. Like, I really do. Just because one thing that we haven't really mentioned, it's not like Caitlin Clark's been amazing since she came into the WNBA.
Reigning Rookie of the Month.
I understand.
No, she hasn't been amazing.
She's had some duds, yeah.
Of course, she's been a humbled rookie.
Yeah, like she's not taking the league by storm.
No, but she never was going to.
She
was never going to.
So, yeah, I think that there's some
people don't take leagues by storm.
Also, the other thing too
Rookies
is
don't.
not only people talking about it, but because people have been talking about it, the games, at least in my opinion, seem way more easily accessible. I can find WNBA easy these days, where it has not always been the case. You had to search for that
everywhere,
and now it's easy to find.
It's
and
everywhere.
So I think just having the product out there for people to consume easily, I think it's here to stay for sure.
Well, it's my favorite thing to talk about.
Me too.
I can't wait. I hope somebody says something crazy in the next 22 hours.
Yeah.
You know, if so, buddy, we'll be right here.
Yep, let's go.
All right.
What's today's biggest game?
All right, I told you can find the WNBA. I just said it. You find the WNBA basically anywhere these days, right? Except you know where you couldn't find it?
Where?
Last night, anywhere. Did you realize this at any point last night? Remember yesterday I made you pick the Mercury and the Storm game?
Yes.
Well, the problem was when I clicked on the scoreboard page, it defaulted to the next round of games, and there were no games on Monday, so it took me to Tuesday directly, and I thought the Tuesday's games were Monday games, so I said, we got tonight, Mercury Storm, CBS Sports Network, 9 o'clock. Last night, I actually tried to find the game. I was going to turn it on.
Yeah, and that wasn't true. There wasn't a game. Damn.
But there is one tonight. Because tonight is what we thought last night was going to be.
Okay, all right.
My point is we had no game last night.
Yeah.
You went 0-0
Here we go.
last
Okay.
night. Mercury Storm, 9 o'clock tonight, CBS Sports Network. Mercury are 4-5. The Storm 5-3. Seattle's a 7.5-point favorite. Neither one of these teams have Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese.
I'm going to stick with my original play yesterday and go with Mercury to cover the 7.5.
You think that number's too big?
Diana Taurasi is still playing at a high level. I think she had like 30-something the other night. So I think we keep it close.
I can't keep track of who scores in the WNBA. I only keep track of who hits each other.
Yeah.
All right?
Right.
Not interested in the points. Just interested in the assaults. All right?
I'm going Diana Taurasi legacy game. That's my Space Jam New Legacy special.
New Legacy special. He's got he's got a hard copy of it if you need it.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, that's mine.
9 o'clock.
Sorry.
9 o'clock CBS Sports Network.
What are we watching on TV?
Can I interest you in Eric?
Okay, I saw the previews for this last night on it's one of those things that I'm interested in, but it's like the what it's about makes me. Isn't it about like a kid that gets abducted?
Well, let me read it.
Yeah.
A tenacious cop.
Yes.
Those are my favorite kinds.
Played by Benedict Cumberbatch, I believe.
You say so?
Yes.
A tenacious cop enters the dark underbelly of 80s New York to track down 2 missing children and finds a big apple that's rotten to its core.
Mm-hmm. It looks good.
Eric.
I'll watch it. I'm going to watch it. Now that you brought it up, I needed something to push me over the edge.
Well, I'm glad I was able to do that for you.
Yeah.
It's number 2 in television shows today at Netflix.com. So it's popular.
Like Netflix.
It's popular. People are watching it.
I like Netflix. I got a little issue with them, but I like them.
I got an issue with Netflix. They keep telling me to add somebody. Every time I log on now, they're like, you want to add somebody?
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop being so pushy.
They also, like Mike Flanagan, who's one of the he's done a bunch of really cool Netflix, like horror stuff and shows. He has been pushing for Netflix to release his stuff on physical media, Blu-ray and DVD. Netflix doesn't do that anymore. And as a company that started in physical media, I think Netflix should grant Mike Flanagan's wishes and put his stuff out so people like me can buy it and support it.
Okay, Bennett.
I mean, put your little Netflix logo on it. You'll make some money off it, too.
I just spent an entire weekend with Netflix employees.
Oh, you did?
This never came up.
Damn it.
This never came up.
I thought this was a big thing. I should have given you this information before you went.
Oh, I would have talked.
I know.
I would have talked about it with Grace or Emily.
We could have made something happen.
Those are the only 2 names I retained from the whole weekend, Grace and Emily. Those are the only 2 ones I took home with me.
Yeah.
Can't really recall the rest of the bunch. But
sorry, y'all.
I'll talk to somebody about it.
Okay.
I got a lot of Netflix connections now. I'll talk to somebody about it. In the meantime, we're just going to watch Eric.
I'll watch it.
I'm going to watch it too, Bennett.
What's the best thing we've read?
Well, over at CBSSports.com, we got our expert picks in for the NBA Finals, Mavericks and Celtics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 experts have made their selections. What do you think the breakdown is?
I'm
Mavericks to
gonna
Celtics.
Say 4-2 Celtics.
It's 3-3.
Oh, wow.
3 people have gone with the Celtics. 3 people have gone with the Mavericks. I told you yesterday the betting markets had this projected to be a 7-game series, so we could be in for a doozy.
I think that.
Could you use a doozy?
I'd love a doozy.
I'd love a doozy.
I'd love a doozy in the finals, yes.
I'd love a doozy in the finals.
Yeah, the East and West finals were ass, so let's get a doozy.
Let's get a doozy.
Yeah.
You know, get 2 ass conference finals, turn it into a doozy. That's what I want. You can get the expert picks right now, CBSSports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Hump day.
That's what they call it.
Mike Wallace?
Yep.
How about that? Continue getting ready for 2024 NBA Finals that start on Thursday. We'll just be a day away. Just a day away tomorrow.
Okay.
I mean, you never know what's going to happen in the WNBA. Somebody could say something or do something. We'll be right back here doing this whole thing again. I can't
ready.
wait. I'm ready, too. Looking forward to that Storm Mercury game tonight.
Oh, me too. And Climate Pledge.
What does that mean?
That's the arena. Climate Pledge Arena.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you retaining
we're
stuff.
in Climate Pledge tonight.
Yeah, I said Climate Pledge yesterday, but I forgot all about it. I only remember Grace and Emily.
Right.
Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll enjoy mine. We'll meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.